Hey, what's up? Like I said, I'm gonna try to do more like horror stuff, more books, more film stuff, and more outdoor stuff again. Well, maybe not right now during the pandemic. And what better time to go over the end of the world than with some interesting apocalyptic films we got here? Let's see. Two of these. These are from Shochuko Studios. Now they're known for their dramas. They're known for one of my favorite anti-samurai films, Harry Carey. The film series, The Human Condition, which is about the Japanese in Manchuria during World War II. And here we have two of the four films that this studio made that were kind of like their version of like kaiju horror films. They didn't really. They had one giant monster film, but most of these films I would call sci-fi horror, and they're about the end of the world, pretty much. Genocide. I covered this in actually the video I did with way back in October during Halloween. Um, War of the Insects is the other name. They dubbed a version of this, and this is Genocide. It's a very interesting, dark film, very anti-American. Okay, which I am for. Sorry, and I am. You know what I am, right? Genocide. You have a bunch of communists agents fighting with the Americans. Okay, but the Americans in the end caused the disaster at the end. Basically, the insects of the world unite because humanity is now able to destroy the planet, and the insects ain't having that. They want to survive. Very interesting film, kind of dark, kind of cheap. And there you go. Let's see. The answer is more deliriously nihilistic and convoluted. Well, it is a bit of campiness here because these are the hipsters of Criterion. But I like the film a lot. It really gives a sense of dread and doom. And like I said, the other film, now this is also sci-fi horror. This is an alien invasion. Okay, the Goke Madoro race of aliens. The little blob-like creatures that go into your skull and leave a big scar and turn the possessed into a vampire that then drinks the blood of anyone it can grab. Okay. This film is also very anti-American. Both films coming out during the height of the Great Vietnam War, the war where America decided to help the South Vietnamese in democracy by killing more than a million of them. Okay, I'm not saying that just one-sided. That war destroyed a lot of American men, working class men, by the way, men that my mother went. Many went to her high school that she remembered. I'm not trying to be one-sided on it, but this is a really creepy film. It's actually a very anti-everything film. There's a little bit of Marxist type stuff in it, but that's one of the themes I'm getting at is that as dissident right people, these things actually these revelations now they have more resonance with us, and I would argue are more accurate because we are now at the end of a historical cycle, and we can see what the ramifications of a lot of these things were, a lot of the lies, a lot of the inversions that were told. But anyway, the interesting thing too about these films is that this woman here, Kathy Horan, an attractive American actress, I assume. I guess she could be Irish. In both films, uh, she plays different roles. In this film, she's kind of like the bimbo American woman who is like the screaming, useless, victim. In this film, she's actually the mastermind villainess with a very dicey, politically incorrect origin. Okay, you could check these. Like I said, on YouTube, I think they have this as War of the Insects and is dubbed. I think they have this one. I think they have this too, also subtitled. I've only ever seen this subtitled. So good Japanese. The Japanese, for some reason, I can't imagine why the Japanese do apocalyptic, end of the world, obliterated cities movies so well. The Germans could probably make films like that too, if well. Anyway, okay. Now we'll go to this first. Land of the Dead, the most epic Romero film, a film that came out in 2005. I remember it was the summer my fiance passed away, but this came out about a month before that, and Very interesting. It's Romero. He had the biggest cast he ever had, and it was basically an action post-apocalyptic kind of film where society, or this society here, sort of reinvents itself almost in a feudal manner. Okay, where the working class people and the regular folks who make up the majority of the people here serve the people that live up in the towers. Okay, while they're barely protecting them from the masses of these invaders, but they're not invaders. These are zombies. These are the majority of the population of the world now, dead. And there's a lot of comedy in it. And at the time, like I said, it was basically, oh, the Bush era, the Bush era. Now, fuck George W. Bush. But the point I'm making is that all the people of that time who were saying that, well, this film really, when you watch it now, okay, when you're red pilled and you're a dissident right person and you see how things have turned out under neoliberalism and the converted Marxism of today, and the capitalism, the predatory capitalism, and the slave state and the slave mind of most Americans. You watch this film now, and it's a lot more chilling and a lot more in our way of looking at things. Plus, there's a lot of good action scenes. And John Leguizamo, I do not like him as a person. He always tries to act like a tough guy from the Bronx. Yo, relax, son. But John Leguizamo is a great actor. I give him that. He actually did a real good job in The Happening. And he's always funny when he dresses up like a woman. So he is a diverse, talented actor. I just don't think much of him as a person. And going from that, we're gonna go to probably the origination. The origination. It's not even a word. Jeez. George Romero, of course, was influenced by the story this movie was based on. But Last Man on Earth probably influenced Romero too. You probably saw it. Shot in Italy. Matheson kind of, I think, disowned the film version, but the film is very effective. I saw it on TV as a kid, and I've watched it years later, and it's a very atmospheric movie. Obviously, it's shot in Italy. Okay, it's not America, but the smoking crematory pits that keep burning after humanity was mostly gone. It's very haunting. And of course, we have Vincent Price playing a role you don't usually see him in. Okay, he's sort of he's a tortured guy. Okay, so he's played that in the Poe films, but he's a really sympathetic man, mourning over his past, the lost past of not just his life but of the whole planet. And he finds a new purpose when he actually finds a human woman when the rest of the population is vampires. It's really cool how they do it. When the film opens, you just see him going out, and there's dead bodies on the ground, and it's the daytime, and he stakes them. Okay, that's weird. And he takes the bodies and he throws them in the pits, the burning pits that were made by the humans. And then as the sun starts to go down, he looks real nervous and he rushes back to his fortified house. And then the dead rise and they bang on the door calling his name, because some of them actually knew him when they were human. Very chilling. And when he finally finds a woman that is not a vampire, he finds a new purpose to life, but then things get even crazier. If you want to see Vincent Price with a machine gun throwing grenades and being an action star, this is probably the only movie I can think of where he is both a hero and he's doing that. This is kind of before he's kind of typecast as the campy villain that you see. And it's just all around a very underrated film. When I saw it as a kid, the idea that the whole world was vampires and stuff really freaked me out. Now as a middle-aged adult man, I guess, it's coming true. It's happening. It's happening. Metaphors. Anyway, so now this one, everyone has seen this, right? The classic, The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock. Amazing film. I'm actually going to play a scene from it. I don't know if that gets me a copyright. I don't care. I'm not making any money off this. But I just wanted to show this interesting scene here without a lot of commentary. It's really well done, the dialogue, the way, the cadence, the rhythm of it, as well as showing, what people in America do today, what everybody does. You get in a public spot and you're talking about something that's scaring the hell out of you, and you get to see all the different characters and the big brain people talking while the pros and the regular folk are making other kind of talk. So let's play this here. Let me get this up real quick. I gotta do this in a certain way. This is live, folks. Live. Oh yeah, it's live. Hold on. This is what you call dead air, I believe, on the video. Up. Hold on. Very professional. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to just play this and I'm going to shut up.
Do you have the number at the Fawcett farm?
Right here in this book, miss. I can't see that it makes any difference, Mrs. Butt. Crows or blackbirds. If the school was attacked, that's pretty serious.
I hardly think that either species would have sufficient intelligence to launch a mass attack. Their brain pans are not big enough.
I just came from the school, madam. I don't know anything about their brain pans, but...
Well, I do. I do know.
Oh, big brain.
Ornithology happens to be my avocation. Birds are not aggressive creatures, miss. They bring beauty into the world. It is mankind.
Sam, 3 southern fried chicken. Baked potato on all of them.
The birds didn't do
Yes,
nothing.
may I speak to Mitch Brenner, please? Yes, I'll wait.
It is mankind, rather, who insists upon making it difficult for life to exist upon this planet.
That's
Now,
true.
if it were not for
Mrs.
birds...
Bundy, you don't seem to understand. This young lady said there was an attack on the school.
Impossible.
Oh, Mitch? Oh, I'm glad I caught you. Something
Oh, here's
terrible.
my man right here.
The end of the world.
2 Bloody Marys, Deke. What actually happened at the school?
Bunch of crows attacked the school kids.
It's the end of the world. Thus saith the Lord God unto the mountains, the hills, and the rivers and the valleys. Behold, I, even I, shall bring a sword upon you.
Yeah.
And I will devastate your high places. Ezekiel chapter 6.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink.
Isaiah chapter 5.
Yeah, my man.
It's the end of the world.
I hardly think a few birds are going to bring about the end of the world.
These weren't a few birds.
I didn't know there were many crows in Bodega Bay this time of year.
The crow is a permanent resident throughout its range. In fact, during our Christmas count, we recorded...
How many gulls did you count, Mrs. Bundy?
Which girls, Mr. Scholes? There are several varieties.
Ones have been playing devil with my fishing boats.
Have you had trouble with gulls?
One of my boats did last week.
But this young lady was hit by a gull only Saturday.
Deke, I'm still waiting for those Bloody Marys.
Going right up.
Could you ask them to lower their voices, please? They're frightening the children.
That's Karen right there. All right.
My boat's practically tore this.
Okay, so I always like that scene. You can look at the change I got. I always like that scene in the restaurant where they're serving alcohol. Good old Americans, guy smoking. I didn't get to the part where the jerk off guy who wants the scotch. So I was talking about killing all the birds. He's like the typical macho middle-aged American who is saying that just because he's actually afraid, and justifiably so, but he can't really see what's making him afraid. But whatever. Now the birds. Okay, the one thing I'm gonna bring up about this film, when you watch the film, especially the end, Rod Taylor, the hero. And people bring this up. Feminists still go after Hitchcock. Oh, he's misogynistic. Well, in the end, when the birds are attacking, the women are pretty much helpless. Now, not all women are gonna be like that, but pretty much most of them are gonna be like that. Most men will probably be like that now. But there was a time when the expectation of the man was that he was going to protect the women. And so when you watch the end, you see poor Rod Taylor pretty much doing everything while the women are freaking out. And, of course, the girl is, crying, and he's trying to protect them. But he's the man doing everything. And I'll round it out real quick. I don't have a lot of time. The great H.G. Wells, Things to Come. More of a historical film, but there is a plague scene in this during the feudal period after the war that destroys Europe. This came out in 1936. And of course, what rises to bring a world out of the ashes but the men in black? Oh boy. And plus the end is really cool too with the shot to the moon. But this is a great film, a British film, big budget film by the master himself, who wrote it, H.G. Wells. All right. Enjoy the end of the world and get ready for tomorrow, okay? Later.